And then 5, 4, 3.
Never consistent.
Hello and welcome to another fine, inconsistent version of It's a Sports Show. We are the inconsistent ones, Dolphin Paul alongside me, Scott Cray. You should really drop the Dolphin nickname during the off-season. I know to you there is no off-season, but like Dolphin Paul just doesn't make sense right now because who cares about the friggin' Dolphins at this point? We're in the middle of Red Sox Nation, baby.
That's my identity. That's what I'm
Yeah, I
known
know.
as. I'm not gonna know Paul.
So if I just call you Paul, does that make me an identity thief?
Hey, listen, I was at a birthday party this weekend, and this kid kept looking at me funny. And just a true story.
Yeah, I bet you get that a
Well,
lot.
I get that a lot. So I said, another guy thinking I'm some type of freak, you know? Usually it's the girls are the ones that look at me and wink, you know?
Oh,
I'm
I'm
like,
sure.
hey, good, you know?
Especially
it's
when
the
they're-
puka beach, you know, the summertime puka beach.
Right, they're either blind
But
or...
all of a sudden, finally, I'm ready to leave the party because I just went there to check something out. I kind of crashed it. The kid
Wait, you
turned-
went to a birthday party for
Well-
the intent to not be at the
Well,
birthday party?
let me just tell you a quick story. My friend Scott was at a birthday party
Okay.
of somebody he knows, and
And
this
you found
guy,
out he was there, so you had to be there too.
I was actually having lunch at a local establishment. He called me and said, dude, you got to check this out. I said, what are you talking about? I said, you're at a birthday party. I wasn't invited. He goes, dude, he knows you from the school, blah, blah, blah. You got to come over and check this out. So I went to the kid's house,
Okay.
and he showed me garage. Apparently the kid is a huge Dolphin fan.
Really? There's
And he-
another one of you.
And he had a garage called the Dolphin Dome. He had somebody paint it Dolphin Dome. And just to give you a brief synopsis, so we won't talk about it, of course, all day, because nobody wants to hear it probably. But it's got aqua color on the floor. It's got
Jeez.
aqua around the walls. His bar is aqua with orange. He's got all kinds of Sports Illustrated on the wall. Dolphin
This is like
rugs.
a finished garage, a.k.a. entertainment room.
Yeah, the garage, you can't put a car in there. There's a
Right.
pool table and a foosball table. Get
Nice.
this. He bought some golf grips, Miami Dolphin golf grips, and put it on his foosball
No
handles.
kidding.
You know, I don't want to say his name. He's an East
Right.
Providence
He knows who he
resident,
is.
but so
The
Scott
Dolphin
said,
Dome.
and Scott's a Patriot fan. He goes, dude, you got to check this out. His dog is named Conrad
Oh.
for Rob Conrad a while back. So that's what happened. Anyway,
So you went over to this birthday party just to check out the
I just
Dolphin Dome.
checked out, and the kid knew me, welcomed me in, and everything. So as I was leaving, his friend goes, he kept looking at me. I thought the kid was like gonna knock me out or something. Like he was gonna give me a punch. He goes, "Do you do a cable access show?" I said, "Yeah, I do." "That's where I know you," he says.
Nice.
"Yeah, that's a good show. I watched that show."
Nice.
So hey,
I love when they finally recognize one of us, and it always follows with, "That's a good show."
of course.
They never say, that show.
And just to
sucks.
toot, it's a sports show, even though we're kind of on and off sporadically here through the summer, because we work hard.
Hey.
all through the season.
Yeah, what do you got going on
Well,
there?
this, just
Little
so people
identity?
think this is like a basement show done on Betamax.
Does that say media?
Yeah.
This is a CVS charity
He
classic.
robbed it from his buddy Scott. Did you take the duct tape off his mouth yet? Get him out of the trunk? Scott
No,
Kordishi, I
you know-
apologize 1,000 times. I know what he's capable of. I should have let you know. He should know
You
what
are
you're
such a
capable of.
buzzkill. You are such a buzzkill. This is an It's a Sports Show media access pass to the CVS charity classic.
That's pretty good. I'm impressed.
Scott, did you get one of those?
Oh.
I applied for it through It's
Yeah,
a Sports Show, and
you-
we got
you
it
know.
because they're
They
pretty
said
limited.
only one person,
You're right. Well,
one co-host per show, and DP just stepped.
In
all
all
over me
seriousness,
and
I went
got
to the
in there.
CVS charity class.
How was it?
I hadn't gone before, believe it or not.
Right.
I'll tell you what, if you're a golfer, it's well worth it because I'm not a big fan of crowds and fighting through systems and check-ins and check-outs. I'm not a big fan of that.
Sure. AKA, you don't like the airport.
Yeah, just things that are struck. I don't want to. I'm short as it is. I know people probably think I'm 6'8" by watching this show, but
That's why half of them don't recognize you when they see you in person.
I'm relatively short, and I didn't want to fight over crowds just to see some golfers. However, the access is great. You see golfers that I just saw this past weekend at the U.S. Open. They're like right there in front of you with my media pass.
I was going to say, you have a media pass. Now,
I can
are you
go-
also saying that the regular people that go can have a good sight of everything, too?
Absolutely.
Good.
If you're just a regular person, unlike myself.
Yeah, you're far from regular.
No, actually,
that's for
it's
sure.
spread out, so you can kind of go on the ropes and you can see your favorite golfers, Brad Fax and Billy Andrew, who, by the way, do a tremendous job with this event.
Yeah. And they were in it, weren't they? This whole thing?
Well, of course, yeah, they were always in it. They were in
Well,
it.
not just in it, but I mean at the end.
Brad
was it-
Faxon was at the end. I was on the 18th watching that.
Yeah.
It's the 10th year. The fantastic weather, and like I said, It's easy access. The bus takes you from Seekonk Speedway down to Barrington. You get off, and it's very accessible. I got my media pass underneath the ropes, of course.
How do you like that?
And I went to see one of my favorite golfers.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. Could be the favorite. Natalie Gulbis. She has a tremendous swing. And you don't know who Natalie Gulbis is.
No
this
clue.
is sad.
I didn't even
The
know
people out
women
there
were
watching
in
the show.
CBS Classic.
Well, this is where you get.
So
This is why I have a media pass, and you're making fun of it.
Oh, I went to the
first-
CBS thing.
let
I
me
didn't
just
see any
explain
women
it.
in
For
years
the first
past.
time,
Oh, that's why. Okay.
for the first time this year, Brad Faxon asked Julie Inkster, who is a longtime veteran of the LPGA, he said, listen, I'd like to bring in 2 women.
Yep.
I'll let you choose the other woman to participate in this year's CBS Charity Classic. It's a great event, blah, blah, blah.
So he invited her and a partner.
She chose Natalie Gulbis.
Awesome.
So there was 2 women in the crowd this year, and she was rather popular.
So what is it? You like her stroke?
Yeah, I like her
She's got a nice swing.
Great swing, yeah.
Good uppercut.
Yeah, good uppercut, swing. And she's a model. She's not
That
bad.
helps.
She's not bad looking. But no, seriously, it was a great event. I got in.
That's pretty cool.
Next year, in all seriousness, I was told that It's a Sports Show can and will apply for a media badge.
So we can do, you think we
Seekonk
can do a
Cable
show
Night?
from there? You think that's possible?
You probably could do a show, or at
Pull
least
some strings, man.
get some footage. We're working on
We
that
went
as
there
we speak.
here at the cable studio. We went and covered it. I want to say, Jen, how long have you been here now? A couple of years?
Almost 2 years.
It was before then, so it must have been like 3-4 years ago that we went. I remember it was a very hot day, but I remember reiterating what you're saying. The one thing I do remember, and it's the only golf tournament I've ever been to, that I was impressed by the fact that just everyday Joe's right up there watching everybody. And I'm sure, I've never been to another golf event. I'm sure it's not like that normally.
Right.
at a
Well,
pro
the great
event.
thing about it too, it's for charity. It's not
Right.
as much money involved. So, you know, a lot of the players, like Lee Trevino's, one of the biggest attractions. He's an older golfer, but you know, you might
Sure.
not know who he is. Interacts with the crowd, makes jokes, just to give you one of the things he said. He pulls out a knife on the first tee.
Okay.
Actually pulls out a knife because he uses that to change his grips. He pulls out a knife and goes, "You guys know what this is? This is a Mexican 1-iron." So he's of Mexican descent. So he kind of plays on that.
Oh, okay.
But he was funny throughout the whole thing. Again, golfers will know what I'm talking about. They got this one club, it's a tailor-made club, that you need a wrench because you change the weights on it, like to change your swing. That's a thing they
Very
came out
technical.
with. So he said, all the Mexican people are stealing this club in California, and they're keeping the wrench. So, like, he says stuff like that. He's just a funny
very
guy.
comical, laid-back
Just
type
a good
of guy.
event. And hey, listen, I just wanted to. This is how I roll.
This is how you roll.
This is how I
I'm
roll.
surprised you actually let me sit here and do a show with you right now. It's pretty amazing.
He's
Thank
not my
you.
brother. He's heavy.
Thank you.
How's that work out?
Thank you,
Okay.
DP.
Let's
I
get on to some
appreciate that.
sports.
Yeah, we are supposed to talk. All right, let me cross this off. CVS Charity, all about DP. That's done.
You know, each week we have to have a segment about me. That's the only way I'm happy.
I know we normally talk about the Red Sox first, and 5 minutes ago, that's what we said we were going to do. I think we should move on to the side things and keep the Red Sox for last. We'll have more time to talk about it. That's what we're going to do, because I said so.
That's like a radio teaser.
little
Red
bit-
Sox are coming up.
The Red Sox is what we shall
All right,
talk
we
about.
got a
last but not
hodgepodge of
least.
things.
Yes.
Let's buzz through them.
All right, Celtics talk. We've got to talk about the
Oh.
Celtics. A lot of this Kevin Garnett stuff going around. And at this point right now that we are shooting, it looks like everyone from Garnett's camp has said, we do not have any interest in going to the Celtics. But it certainly gave sports talk enthusiasts plenty to talk about over the last 3 to 4 days. And a lot of it was basically, do you bring a guy in like Kevin Garnett with a lot of talent, veteran type player, in to lose at someone like an Al Jefferson and perhaps even a couple of your younger guys that just haven't fully developed yet? Everybody was kind of jumping all over Garnett, saying, bring him on in. At least that's what I caught from my perspective. What was your thought on the entire deal?
Well, apparently it's Tuesday night when we shoot the show.
Yep.
There's some people that believe the deal's not dead yet because they're saying that's the best deal Minnesota's going to get for Garnett. Now, Garnett, of course, has the power to say, which he did, I'm not going to Boston.
Right.
And he's not the only one. So this is kind of a bad trend for the Celtics. A lot of players really don't want to come here into no man's land.
Gee, I wonder why.
Now, I've heard opposing points of view on the Kevin Garnett because a lot of people don't want to give up Al Jefferson.
Right.
So
Because now we should tell people that aren't familiar with the situation. Kevin Garnett is someone that you would only get for possibly a year,
for about another
up
year.
to 2 or 3
Right.
tops.
Well-
Whereas someone like Jefferson is in for a while.
Well, you'd also have to find a way to extend Garnett's contract, which would cost a ton of money.
Right, because
But-
the way that basketball works, you can't discuss that, right? And when you bring someone in, you can only take him for the remainder of the contract at this point.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. But here's essentially the crux of the deal.
Right.
Would you rather have Garnett and Paul Pierce and have a short-term run, because Garnett is 31.
Be successful right now.
Paul Pierce is up there in age, have 2 superstars, of course, have created a lot of buzz.
Yep.
Or there's most people that I've heard have said, no way, because Al Jefferson, that's the low post player we've been talking about for years,
Yep.
and he's starting to develop, and people are afraid he's going to become a dominant inside man. But on the other hand of the coin is, well, when Jefferson becomes dominant, Paul Pierce is going to be old.
Quite possibly.
So that's essentially what it is. From what I heard,
And you have
most
to have
experts do
patience.
not like what the Celtics would be giving up. The
Right.
number 5, Al Jefferson, and who cares about the other guys, Ratcliffe, and a bunch of junk contracts.
Right.
So that's the big question there. Some people talked about Jermaine O'Neal for Al Jefferson, which I definitely would not do. Kobe Bryant, it's probably a 1% chance Kobe Bryant
Well,
can come
and I
above.
think in the end,
That's a
Kobe's going
guy-
to stay with the Lakers,
well-
and one of these 2 big-name guys are going to go to the Lakers to supplement Kobe Bryant. And we'll sidetrack the Celtics for a sec, because you got me going on Kobe Bryant now. The dude complains that he wants to be the superstar. They get rid of Shaq, and now he's complaining that he wants out if they don't bring in some help.
Well, there's also some reports that have surfaced in the last couple of days in the papers that Paul Pierce has quietly asked management what's going on with the team,
Yep.
and that he might request a trade to a better situation.
Yeah.
Which I think he has the right to do because he's been a good.
I told you
good
that
soldier.
when the season ended 2-3 weeks ago. No, I'm sorry. I told you that when it was decided that the Celtics were going to get the 5 pick and not the 1 or 2.
If they should trade
Pierce. Not if, just do it. You know, the problem I have going back to the Celtics and Garnett is that the same people that are saying, don't give up Jefferson, don't give up this, it's not worth Garnett, are the same people complaining, I'm sick of hearing that this team's too young, they haven't developed yet, I want to win now. You can't have both. It's one or the other. Either you will have the patience and wait a few more years and suffer seasons like we just did for a couple more years until these players develop, or you trade away some young players and bring in a veteran superstar and try to win now. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah,
it's
it's
one
a
or the
tough
other.
call, and I'm on the fence because I'd love to have Kevin Garnett, but I do love Al Jefferson, and it's a real tough call because I think I'm like most Celtics fans. We're tired of waiting.
Yes.
You know, we've been talking a couple years, wait till these guys develop for I don't know how long. And Paul Pierce is saying, hey, we've drafted so many young guys since I've been here. And, this thing just keeps
Get
going.
cooking
now
now.
they got the number 5 pick. You bring in a guy maybe like Al Horford who's probably not going to be available, or even somebody like that. And, it just takes a long time to
Right.
get this thing going. And Al Jefferson is very young. That could be a good piece. But, if they could find a way, and they're probably not, I'm going to say it right now, to get like Garnett
Yep.
without Jefferson, boy, I'd really
Yeah,
be
it's not
excited.
going to happen. You know that's
That's probably not going to happen. So
You were talking about the fact that by the time Jefferson gets to the point where he can bring this team, and it's funny that we're saying he can bring the team as opposed to Paul Pierce. Pierce might be getting older at that point. How about the fact that if we're going to wait, okay, and have 1 or 2 more years like we just did, Danny Ainge might not survive.
Danny
that point
Ainge
in
is
time.
definitely in a hot seat. There's no doubt about it. Now, what's your feeling? So you would trade for Kevin Garnett?
I'm on the fence too, simply because bringing in Garnett.
Fence riders here at It's a Sports.
We play that neutral, cool position so everyone can like us.
We don't have an opinion.
The problem I have with Garnett, right, is Garnett and Pierce. How far? I mean, is that 2 superstars good enough without Jefferson to win it all? Or is it only good enough to get into the playoffs for a couple of rounds?
Wow, but playoffs would be good right now.
You're right.
I think we're going to take this.
Back.
I've heard somebody say this, and I agree with them. We're going to take this championship thing out of the back of our minds.
Right.
I mean, you can't go from 14 wins to championship. You got to, you got to try to get into the playoffs.
Sure.
I mean, in the second round, I'd love to see Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce in the second round of the playoffs. I think that would be pretty exciting.
I guess to answer your question, because people watch this show on a weekly basis, they don't want to see people flip-flop, which happens an awful lot, and that's what I'm criticizing as far as people that are all over TV and radio. I will stand my ground and say, what I've continued to say is that I'm sick of waiting. I'm sick of not being able to watch good basketball on TV. So therefore, I'm simply going to say, yes, bring in Garnett. Even if it's only for a couple of years, at least let's do some winning.
This is similar to another trade, which we'll probably get to, Mark Burley and John Lester. It's kind of the same
Have
scenario.
we talked enough Celtics?
Yeah, I think so. The draft is this Thursday. By the time people, especially in Rhode Island, watch your show,
Whoop-de-doo.
the draft will be on.
Whoop-de-doo.
Well, I mean, I'll be interested in it.
Why?
Well, because the Celtics might trade.
Oh,
they
you
might
mean
not trade.
Right.
And if they don't trade, I'm just curious to see who they pick at 5. I mean, it is the number 5 pick. I'm not going to be, extremely excited at who they pick. I don't think nobody's there good enough, but I mean, I'm
I don't
curious.
think anybody cares about this draft. There's no depth to it
Well,
whatsoever.
no.
We already know who's going to take the 1-2.
Well, I agree with you, but I mean, just from a curiosity standpoint, I mean,
I have no curiosity whatsoever.
well.
None. Not one bit. The cat has not taken my curiosity. Actually, I guess it has because I have none. Anyway, Garnett, Celtics, gone. Done.
Put it this way: the board of It's a Sports Show wants you to watch the draft.
Oh, so I have to.
You have to
so I can
watch it.
report on it next week. Fair enough.
Let's move on.
Quickly, and I mean quickly, the Bruins have fired and hired another head coach.
Ooh.
Quite simply put, in a general statement, is this going to cause you to watch the Bruins at all? Is it going to cause the Bruins to win at all?
This one time in football, my friend kind of liked it when I went like this and went, no.
Fair enough.
Claude Julien.
Who cares?
He's kind of a defensive guy. I actually like Claude Julien. I think he's a pretty good coach, but
Is this just another guy that's just going to get fired again a
this
year from now?
organization, they don't know what to do. How many coaches are you going to have in 6 or 7 years? We want to be offensive. We want to be defensive. You bring in Dave Lewis. You bring Claude Julien. How about some talent? Bring in some friggin' talent.
They had talent and they traded it away.
They
had talent, they traded it away.
You know what? This is embarrassing. And Chiarelli now, Peter Chiarelli, I mean, we had a little bit of hope because they brought in one of the best defensemen in Chara. They brought him in.
Yep.
Okay, so there was a little bit of hope there. New coach finally got rid of Mike O'Connell. But, right now, with another coach, ironically, who is friends with Chiarelli, so this is kind of like, let's find a way to get rid of our existing coach.
Sure.
Who might or might not have been the answer, okay? Maybe not. Maybe he wasn't the answer. All of a sudden you bring in your guy. This whole thing
Tough
stinks
times
with the Bruins.
To me, the Boston Bruins are a magnified version of the entire sport. In other words, the sport itself is hurting very badly.
But they're even worse than the sport itself because this is a big hockey area.
And
they're just
this is a
embarrassing.
big, passionate sports area. If you win, the fans in this area will get passionate about it, regardless of how bad the sport is failing.
I mean, I used to watch the Bruins in the old days when they had the McNabbs and the Rick Middletons and guys like that. Yeah, they'd go to the playoffs and not win, but it was pretty good hockey. Them against the Canadians in the playoff series, that was fun to watch. Now it's...
Well, the other day, Jerry Remy was talking about the 4 major sports. Actually, it was yesterday, talking about how athletes are not robots. And during the telecast, he was saying, hey, out of the 4 major sports, this is the way athletes are. And he said, baseball, basketball, football, hockey. I was just waiting to see what he'd say, because the 4 sports to me, even though it's not in this area, that 4th sport is NASCAR, maybe golf, certainly not hockey. Maybe up in Toronto somewhere, but not around here. All right.
It's definitely losing its luster in the Bruins.
Hockey done.
I swore them off a couple of years ago. I don't root for any other team, but until this whole, probably the ownership change is what I'm looking for. Jeremy Jacobs.
Of course.
I mean, they're making a ton of money.
Starts at the top.
And I don't know. I'm just sick of it.
Soon they can't be making a ton of money. No one's going.
Well,
and the tickets are just as expensive.
I think they own the building, concessions, all that. That's where I don't think they're dependent on it's a sports show to go there, spend $35 on a ticket. I think they get so much money from everything. So they're in a good financial position is what I'm saying.
Exactly. Football, Tank Johnson, been released. They've had about enough of him. They gave him a chance. He was suspended for 6 months, correct? I'm
first
sorry,
8 games.
Right, half the games, so 8 games. Got into a little more trouble. Strangely enough, was pulled over for, I want to make sure I word this right, because it was, he was pulled over for mild, was it impairment? I think was the term, and I should have had it in front of me. Okay, so mild impairment, and then was not charged, although he could be at some point. He was released, and I'm sure he has a court date. His team saying, enough's enough. We gave him a chance. He had zero, what am I trying to say? There was 0 tolerance left for Tank Johnson. He went over the line. He's done now. That's the
Good
end.
for the Bears. Good
yeah.
I say good for the Bears.
Absolutely.
But here's the problem. Once he's cleared of everything, somebody will pick him up.
Oh, guarantee. It's another Terrell Owens
that's
situation,
when-
except not crime-related.
When you have some talent, especially in a league like the NFL.
Yep. Somebody will take a
We
chance
have
with
him. We have another guy from Cincinnati, a backup running back who got in trouble. And I must say this, backup tackle from Miami, Fred Evans, who by all accounts is a second-year player from the state of Texas, was got into an argument with a taxi cab driver.
you. Yep.
You know, the cops came. He didn't want to get out. You know, of course, he didn't want to be subdued. He got tasered. Ironically,
Which is the new
as we
term now in
speak,
the NFL.
the NFL right now is having their rookie symposium where they have rookies, whether you're the number one pick, you're getting millions, to the last guy, trying to explain to them who to hang with, be careful, investments, you know, what you do with your off time in football, stuff like that.
The NFL is doing all the right things as it relates to that.
Well, they're trying, but I mean, the Goodell, I mean, that seems like he came in and he's faced with all these disciplinary
but he's
problems.
doing a great job.
Well,
in
I think,
putting his foot, the timing was perfect for all this to happen.
And Pac-Man, there's another guy that you know we're probably going to talk about.
Pac-Man
I mean,
Jones.
He's a guy with all the talent in the world.
10 minutes.
He's probably eventually going to be released.
Yes.
I mean, he's a great player.
He just can't stay out of trouble.
But you know,
But I mentioned this, you know, when the Pac-Man incident came up. Now, he's suspended for the whole season, correct?
Right.
And he appealed it, but it was upheld. So, or he dropped his appeal,
Right.
one or the other. So the problem I have is someone like Pac-Man Jones, who is suspended and not allowed to be at the facility, just puts him out there to get into all kinds
and
of
before
trouble.
before the appeal is when he went to the strip club and got involved in another type altercation.
Which
even
he's
though,
being sued for now.
he's being sued because he bit somebody's foot or something. So
An NFL player biting somebody in the ankle.
I mean,
what do you think, he's a dog?
It's a violent sport, but unfortunately, some of these. I mean, I think it's just like society. Unfortunately, some of these guys put themselves. They're very young. Let's not
Yes.
forget that.
Yes.
You know, we're a little wiser
Heck
here
of,
on
a
this
heck,
sport.
heck of a lot younger
Well,
than
these
we
guys
are.
are very young, first, second year in the NFL.
They've been spoiled for a
a
long
lot
time.
of money.
They've got a
been
lot of money.
spoiled. They've gotten a lot of things. You know, you just, you know, I mean, listen, I have a son. It's basically, I don't know what else you can do besides try to relate information and tell these guys, hey, listen, I'm sure, you know, maybe the right veterans on a team say, look, you know, you really shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Hanging with people at night. I mean,
Well, you
when you
saw
get that
some
much
of
money,
that.
it doesn't take a lot for somebody
No.
to do something to you.
You can do whatever you
They
want.
could call you a name. They could spill something on you. And of course, you're going to react like a normal human being.
Right.
But then there's the cameras. You're in the wrong spot. You get sued. I mean, people are after money. There's girls. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff, you know?
They're in the limelight.
Like when we travel and it's a sports show, we're
Ugh.
very careful what we do.
We're back, you know, we got to do the back door just
Yeah,
to
I
stay
mean,
away from
you know,
people.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
I mean,
the girls are around the limos, but we got to
Girls.
go take our
Yeah.
pickup truck.
change your clothes so they won't rip off
yeah.
our shirts and everything.
I like that
Ah!
fake mustache you had the other day, by the way.
Well,
Fooled
listen,
me.
I got to try. I mean,
Last thing I'll say about this is two things need to happen, and both relate to discipline. The commissioner needs to be tougher, which now we have a new commissioner, and he is tougher. So I like where that's going so far. But I think teams, I give all the credit in the world to Chicago for what they have done, dropping this disgrace of an NFL football player who gets this opportunity, not for money and fame, but to do what he loves, which other people would die for, and he just does not take advantage of that. And stupidity has kicked him off this team. People in Cincinnati, you should be watching what's going on in Chicago, because Cincinnati is a joke as a team to upper management to not have disciplined, 8 guys in a year or two? A joke, Cincinnati is. They're off my list. I'm back to being just a 49ers fan.
wow.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's breaking news in itself.
Yep, it is. I say it low key.
I
Baseball.
mean, just a final note on
Yes.
that, the NFL. I mean, a lot of it is also gets magnified when these guys leave football.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's just another thing. You know, a guy like Tank Johnson, all of a sudden, let's say no team picks him up.
Now
You know,
what?
I'm not saying the guy's an idiot, doesn't have an education. I don't know what his education
No,
is.
but his
I mean,
life
I don't
has
mean to say
revolved
he's
around
going to be in a
football.
corner, you know, asking for money. But
Right, no.
all of a sudden, you're out of the limelight. Even famous players with lots of money have had trouble adjusting to regular life
Right.
out of the spotlight. So, you know, it's not all glamour. I
Right.
mean, it's a tough thing. Some guys can handle it. A guy like Peyton Manning seems to have everything coordinated, and Other guys just have a hard time
Matter
with
of
that.
having brains or not. And let's
he's not going to be the last.
right.
That's
And
for
let's
sure.
not be fooled here. Tank Johnson is by no means a rich man right now. He's not getting paid. That's quite simple.
Well, right now he's not. But like I said, once this
somebody will pick him
boils over, yeah, he'll come back.
All right, Boston Red Sox.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, and Jen's happy at the fact we only have 5 minutes because
Well, the only reason we have
Waka Waka Yankees.
5 minutes is because there's not much to talk about.
Not
in
much to
baseball.
talk about. The Red Sox are awesome.
Well,
How do you like that?
okay, that's it. Show's over. Show's over.
I mean, are the Yankees cooked? You got 4 teams other than the Yankees fighting for the wild card.
I am declaring the race over.
Okay, I'm not yet, but
am.
I'm pretty darn close because any injury can happen to the Red Sox, and the Yankees can pick up somebody that allows them to blow off 15 in a row. But
Well,
I'm pretty close to writing them off
Let
now.
me say this, and we had this argument with the boys on the score.
Yeah.
Just because I declare it over, like somebody said, oh, if you declare it over and the Red Sox win by 3 games, then you weren't right. And I
That's wrong.
disagreed. I
That's
said,
wrong.
no, I am right because the reason they won by 3 is because they have a 10.5 game lead.
Right.
I'm not saying the Yankees are all done, don't have a shot at the wild card. Obviously not mathematically eliminated from the division.
Of course not. It's
It's
too
a very
early.
long season.
Yes.
But
They have a pad.
I said they had this question on sports radio. How many games do you think it has to be at the All-Star break to be declared over? I was thinking in my mind 12. Many people said 15, 16, 17. I think 10 are over, and this race is over. I think the Red Sox pitching is too good, and the Yankees going to be a little bit deflated. They went on that great run. They cut the Red Sox lead way down.
Yep.
But now they have to do it again. At least once,
Right.
2 times, maybe 3 times, while the Red Sox at the same time would also have to decline. So
Well, that's the thing. It's not like the Red Sox will stop playing and, hey, we got ourselves a 10.5 game lead. Let's see if the Yankees can catch up. The Red Sox continue playing and continue winning. The Red Sox version of a dive would be 500 ball the rest of the way.
well, they'd have to. They'd
which
have
is
to play
not gonna
500, and the
happen.
Yankees would have
And
to
the
play.
Yankees would still have to play much better than 500.
And the Yankees' weaknesses keep coming up.
Yes.
In the pitching staff and a couple other positions, whereas the Red Sox, their bullpen is solid. Red Sox have a number 5, Julian Tavares, who, although last night wasn't great, he pitched okay. Didn't get
He's
any
been
run support.
effective.
I mean, for a number 5 guy who's gone up against the other team's number 1 many times.
Yes.
So they're pitching the Bulls, the Bull staff. The Bull is there a Bull staff?
They have a Bull staff?
The bullpen staff. There's a couple things on the horizon. Gason Gabbett is pitching tonight, which would be interesting.
Yep.
Schillen is a question mark. Okay.
Right. He's still having his shoulder checked
Well,
out.
he's a question mark just in terms of the rest of the year.
And while a lot of people, I don't
I'm
know
not
about the
talking
rest
about-
of the year. What do you mean the rest
Well,
of the
I'm
year?
not talking about medically. I'm talking about as an effective pitcher.
Okay. Why
He's
would
been
he?
up and down.
Well,
Are
yeah,
you
but he's
fully
still,
confident that is he your ace?
He's certainly not a number 5 guy, though. I mean, he's a good 3-4 right now.
I just think there's questions with him. That's all.
okay.
I mean, I just don't think you know what you're going to get with him. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not worried about the pitching. The biggest thing to me is the bats. I mean, Julio Lugo, Coco Crisp has come around. J.D. Drew has come around.
I think it's safe to say if the Red Sox can get some runs,
Manny and Poppy haven't even heated up
if
yet.
the Red Sox can get some run support, they're definitely going to be tough to stop.
Right.
Because of their pitching. So I don't, and it'll be interesting to see the All-Star break. Mark Burley.
Yeah.
There's been talks about Mark Burley for Leicester. I make the move because Burley's only 28 years old. so-
Absolutely.
yeah, I haven't seen enough from
Absolutely.
Leicester. I know he had cancer and everything.
Well, it's kind of funny because, people don't get sucked into the fact that thinking because the Red Sox have such a lead that they will not be active come All-Star break in some possible trade
Well,
rumors.
we hope they will. Not that they have to do a lot.
They don't have to.
They also are in
But
a,
someone like Mark Burley would nail in the coffin for
they're in
the
a
Yankees
position-
just for the sake of the Yankees not getting them.
they're in a position of strength also. So
Yes.
they're in a good spot to do what they want right now. So
Who would have
that's
ever
why we don't
thought
talk a lot of
J.D. Drew-
baseball because
J.D. Drew would come alive as the number 1 hitter in the lineup. Who would have ever thought that?
but he's still not enough alive for me.
Oh, come on.
He's getting $15 million a year. He should be hitting like this all the time. Is she cutting down the time because we're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about Yankees?
You know
Red
why?
Sox?
Because you're not getting paid $50 million a year. She's a Yankee fan, so she could care less about the Red Sox. Hey, you think we could flip her, make her a Red Sox fan before all said and done? It's a sports show at yahoo.com. Keep those emails coming. It's a sports show, IASS, the keyword on YouTube, IASS. We will start uploading this one as soon as we get going, and we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks.